Welcome back to another episode of the Don't Take Us Seriously podcast. Please, everybody, remember to like, comment, subscribe to anything that we got going on here. Today, we're going to re-up with the NFC playoff picture, for the deep sleepers and everything. Now, if you guys have been following along, old sleepers are pretty much out now for the NFC. But we're going to give them another shot here because, Mr. Numero Uno here still has one in the running. I'm DJ.
It's your boy L.
All right. Well, for the first leg, I'd like to go off and say, it feels nice to have the Packers in my corner now because just like I said, what happened is happening. It's getting colder, and what happens when those cold winter months come in, teams they turn into a shell of themselves. Oh, Miami didn't want to come, they didn't want to come play in the cold. They didn't want to come play in the cold at all against the Packers. Although, I'll even give you a little bit of credit because I know you're going to say they were playing in Miami, so it didn't matter. It's like, yeah, well, it's still December. So in their hearts, they knew it was cold and they couldn't perform because, old Tua couldn't figure it out in December, the prime time games, and maybe he'll be the next Kirk Cousins. But Detroit, it's going to be Detroit. Like I told you that they would, dropping the ball when they could have really sealed the deal against them old Panthers, but they ran all over them boys. And then lo and behold, now we just gotta go up against Kirk, and Mr. Kirk, he ain't got a playoff win in sight. So it's looking like a clear opportunity here for me to be right, and once again for you to be wrong.
Is this what you is? I just gotta know. Is this what you're using to defend your point? Is it like seriously? These are the facts that you're using to back your point. You're gonna tell me that the Packers, who they need a miracle, they have to win out just to possibly squeeze into the last spot. Because even if they win out, it's not guaranteed. They preying on other teams losing just for them to squeeze into the last spot. And on top of that, one of the teams that they need to lose out is Detroit, who they have to play. And like you can go look at the clips if you like, but I told you earlier this year that Detroit going 2-0 against the Pack and Minnesota going 2-0 against the Pack. And I still stand on that. And I just want you to know, as much as you happy that your sleepers is still doing what they doing, what did I tell you about Minnesota?
I know what you said. I get it.
What you answer the question? Repeat it for the people.
There ain't nothing to be said. You said what you said about Minnesota and Kirk Cousins. And you said that they was going to get it done. You said they was going to be contenders. You said they was going to be this. You said they was going to be that. You've been saying a lot. I can't remember everything that you say every time about every team. But I can remember what I said. I said that the Packers was going to get it done. And I said RELAX. Relax. Because A-Rod got it under control. He going to rock them to sleep in that cold December wind with all that snowfall coming down. They gonna shrivel back up. They gonna have to swaddle themselves in their blankets. And guess what's gonna happen? A-Rod gonna come to town. He's gonna find a way because he's the best quarterback that's left to make the playoffs. That's still in the hunt. He's still the best guy for the job that's available.
So you telling me right now that let's keep this in mind, right? Keep this in mind. They're behind the Commanders. They're behind the Giants. Those are two teams that are still currently in the playoffs. And the record difference is what? Oh, tied, right? Okay. New York is 8-6. Washington 7-7. So that means, let's see. Washington has to play the Browns in Dallas. So I'll say Washington goes 1-1, right?
Yeah.
So if Washington goes 1-1, Green Bay still doesn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. New York's going to at least win one more game.
I think New York will make it, if I'm being honest. I think they're going to make it. I think New York will.
So New York's making it, right? Mm-hmm. And New York is going either 1-1 or 2-0. We don't know which, but two hard. One easy game, one hard game in Indy and then Philly. So New York is at least going 1-1. So New York's going in regardless. So then we're still not done though, because now you have Seattle, who's 7-8. Seattle has to end the season with the Jets and the Rams. So you, so you like we can keep going. Don't worry, I will. Detroit, they're gonna smack Green Bay. I stand on that. I stood on. I've been standing on that hill all year, and you're gonna tell me Detroit's gonna lose to Green Bay and Chicago for Green Bay to make it? Not happen.
Hey, you can believe what you're gonna believe.
And you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can say, oh, they ran for 300 yards. Guess what? Detroit was due for a loss in a bad game. They were.
Mm-hmm.
This is a team that has been playing pretty much above their head all year. Good team, learning how to win, great coach, quarterback questionable, and a defense that's finally filling itself out. They were due for a bad game. Now, was that an abysmal showing? I'm not going to argue with you on that.
Here's the thing with the ball. The reason that I think that the Packers are going to be able to take advantage of the Lions is because of how they lost. Yes, you can say it's because they underestimated the Panthers. They did do that. But it's the X's and O's as to how they underestimated them. They underestimated them with gap control. They completely lost contain with all those things, in mind. So if you're going to let them run all over you, that means that Aaron Rodgers doesn't even have to be super effective. All he has to do is be slightly effective in how they've been winning these games lately. It hasn't been Aaron Rodgers dicing them up and just throwing, pin missiles everywhere. It hasn't even been that. It's been through the run game. It's been A.J. Dillon heating up. It's been the line playing through their defense more. It's been getting better as the time goes on. So if you're telling me that the Lions are just coming off of probably their worst rushing defense performance, and now they got to play the Packers, not this week, but the following week. Okay, I like my odds. I like my chances, because for them to turn this around, could they do it? Yes. But for a deep sleeper to get in, sometimes it's better to be lucky than it is to be good. And just one more.
You telling me you think the Lions going to double down on that, though? That's what you're saying. You're saying that the Lions, with 2 weeks to prepare for that matchup, they're going to double down on that. And not only are you telling me that the Lions are going to double down on that, you're telling me that Green Bay is going to beat the hottest offense in the league right now. And not only that, they're going to beat the hottest offense in the league right now with them potentially fighting for the number 1 seed. Not saying Minnesota's going to get it, but with the chances realistically still being there, and on top of that, Justin Jefferson fighting for MVP right now and fighting for that 2,000-yard season, you telling me that Green Bay gonna go to Minnesota and win? That's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me right now.
So I'm not saying that it's easy. I'll sum it all up in one big statement, one big blanket statement. This is what has to happen. So they have to go up against. So I'm not saying they have to go up against. They need Geno Smith to underperform. Guess what? The Seahawks have, ever since that hot start that they started off with early in the season, they haven't been winning as many games as people think. People have been forgetting that they've actually been on a little bit of a losing streak. And the last 5 games, I think they've lost 5 of their last 7, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it's 3 of the last 5. Either way it goes, they're losing more than they're winning right now. So Geno, albeit great story early on, it hasn't been that great as of late for as a team, as a full team. So that's one. So that's very possible they could lose out. Then you turn around, you look at the Commanders. The Commanders, guess who they have? If you got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterback. So they got Taylor Heineke and they've got Carson Wentz. Okay, what? I mean, you got the guy that, the people's champ that people liked, and Taylor Heineke that's not quite that talented, and you've got Carson Wentz who's talented but not a good leader. So, hey, the way I see it, you got 2 guys that can't quite figure it out. So, hey, I'll take my chances with them. They're better on their defense has been playing better, but at the same time, if you've got no quarterback, you got no team. So that takes the Commanders out. And then you turn around and you look at the Giants. I think the Giants are going to make it. But let's be honest, though. The Giants have been winning through Graham Gano, Daniel Jones, and Saquon Barkley. And teams have figured out if you take out Saquon, then the team isn't that effective. So it's very possible that they could still lose out because there's enough film on how you actually beat this team. And then, the Lions. I'm not worried about the lowly Lions. The lowly Lions, like I mentioned before, with gap control and everything. And most importantly, they have PTSD to worry about because they can't beat him. When it counts, they pee down their leg. Like I said before, I know I tried to back it up before when I gave Dan Campbell his credit, and I did give him his credit. But guess what? Now it's the going gets tough, and now you got to win games, and you don't have the experience of winning them as an organization. So I don't think they're going to get it done, but that's just me. That's my deep sleeper pick. You guys decide on who you think.
You know, I'll let you have your pat on the back, feel good. But we just gonna look at this from a realistic standpoint for a half a second before I close this out. You telling me that not only does Green Bay have to win out, but everybody else has to lose out. The odds just ain't there. It doesn't make sense. It don't add up. Not only does everything I've already argued make more sense than your point, but from a statistical standpoint, the odds ain't in their favor. And I'll stand on that. And I'm dying on the hill that they're getting swept by Minnesota and they're getting swept by Detroit. But you know what? If y'all want to hear more about this or y'all want to see the outcome and hear DJ have to put his foot in his mouth, check us out. We love to hear from y'all.